Welcome to the Daily Word, verse by verse. Grab your Bibles and follow along as we study the book of Revelation. Keep in mind, I'm using the Holman Christian Standard Bible, so if you're using a different translation, the read is different, but the message is the same. We're going to pick it up. We are doing some background story on the man of sin, the beast, the Antichrist, in preparation of when we study Revelation chapter 13. And I'm going to go back to Daniel because, as I said, I wanted to take my time to give some background information so that when we study chapter 13, we understand who this man is. And that he just didn't pop out of nowhere. He didn't just show up. This man was prophesied really from the beginning. Now, I'm back in Daniel, and again, the last time, again, I got us caught up on Daniel's prophecy, and really kind of all prophecy is really the interpretation of this dream that Nebuchadnezzar had of four major world kingdoms from Nebuchadnezzar's day into the end of the age, and Jesus is going to destroy this human image, human man kingdoms. Now I want to go to Daniel chapter 7 because, again, remember, all of Daniel is the interpretation of this image, and we're going to see parts of that as we move through Daniel here. But all Daniel is doing, and by the way, he is interpreting this at various times in his life as he is an older man. So even though we're seeing this in book form, the reality of this is that, for example, chapters 1 through 6 is one time frame. Chapter 7 is another time frame. Chapter 8 is an entirely different time frame. So he's receiving these prophetic visions and revelations at different times in his life. So in chapter 7 and in verse 15. Now I'm just going to center in on the interpretation since we already see the vision was already given, the image was already given. So verse 15, I'm in chapter 7, verse 15. So he says, "As for me, Daniel, my spirit was deeply distressed within me, and the vision of my mind was terrified. And I approached one of those who were standing by and asked him the true meaning of all this. So he let me know the interpretations of these things." Now remember, this is the image that, either the image that Nebuchadnezzar saw, these four kingdoms. And so he's giving, again, different times in his life, various interpretations of the same image. So verse 12, it says, "These huge beasts, four in numbers, are four kings who will rise from the earth." Now remember, in chapter 12, I read the end of chapter 12, it says, "And he," meaning referring to Satan, "stood on the sand of the sea," right? So notice he says right here, these kings will rise from the earth. Verse 18, "But the Holy One of the Most High will receive the kingdom and possess it forever and ever. Yes, forever and ever." Then I wanted to know the true meaning of the fourth beast, the one different from all the others, extremely terrifying, with iron teeth and bronze and claws, devouring, crushing, and trampling its feet whatever it was left. And I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on his head, and about the other horn that came up before, which 3 fell. The horn had eyes and a mouth that spoke arrogantly, and that was more visible than all the others. Now, notice he's curious about this fourth kingdom, and then this horn that's going to arise from that fourth kingdom. And we're going to kind of see that. We're going to see this characteristics of the man of sin. That's going to be important. I'm going to make a point that I'm going to point it out here, so that, again, I'm going to make a point that this is who we're going to be looking for. Let's see, verse 21. "And as I was watching, this horn made war with the holy ones and was prevailing over them until the Ancient of Days arrived, And the judgment was given in favor of the holy ones of the Most High. For the time had come, and the holy ones took possession of the kingdom. Verse 23. This is what he said. The fourth beast will be a fourth king. Now, many believe this to be the Roman Empire. Okay. This will be a fourth king, different from all the other kingdoms that will devour the whole earth, trample it down, and crush it. The 10 horns are 10 kings who will rise from this kingdom. So notice the 10 kings, 10 horns, the 10 kings. And by the way, these 10 horns were the 10 toes of the image that Daniel had saw. He says another, verse 14, the 10 horns are 10 kings who will arise from this kingdom. Another different from the previous one will arise after them and subdue 3 kings. He will speak words against the Most High and oppress the holy ones and the Most High. He will intend, now let me stop, because at this point he's talking about the man of sin, or the beast, or the Antichrist. Notice the characteristics. We've already seen this before. He will be incredibly arrogant, and notice he will speak blasphemous words against the King of Kings, Jesus. That's how arrogant he will be. Notice something else about him. In verse 25, he will speak words against the Most High and oppress the holy ones of the Most High. He will intend to change religious festivals and laws, and the holy ones will be handed over to him for times and times and half a time, or 3.5 years. And remember, this is where we are in the book of Revelation right now, with chapters 11, 12, and 13. The court will convene, and its dominions will be taken away, to be completely destroyed forever. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under all heaven will be given to the people, the holy ones of the Most High. His kingdoms will be an everlasting kingdom, and all the rulers will serve and obey him. Now that's, again, so see this interpretation, again, of this, the man of sin, who will rule the earth with great arrogance. Now I'm going to go to chapter 8 and verse 23. Again, I'm focusing on the interpretation, again, of this dream. This is again, Daniel is receiving these. By the way, each of these last 6 chapters, again, are different times in his life that he's receiving these interpretations. Now, revelations. Now, verse 23. Near the end of their kingdoms, when the rebels reach the full measure of their sin, the insolent king, skilled in intrigue, will come to the throne. His power will be great, but not with his own, and he will cause terrible destruction and succeed in whatever he does, and he will destroy the powerful along with the holy people. He will cause deceit to prosper through his cunning and by his influence, and in his own mind he will make himself great. In time of peace he will destroy many. He will even stand against a princes, but he will be shattered not by human hands. Now, by the way, this is why we know he's talking about the Antichrist, because remember, in Daniel's original interpretation, he said that a rock came and struck the feet of the image and destroyed them. Verse 26, in the vision, the evening, the morning, that had been told is true. Now you must seal up the visions, because it refers to many days in the future. Now, very interesting. Daniel was told to seal up the prophecy. Later on in the book of Revelation, we're going to see that John is going to be instructed to open the seal. That God wants the revelation known. Okay. So again, I'm giving you pictures of what the Antichrist is. Notice he's going to seek to change times and laws. Whatever he does do will prosper. He will be a military genius. All right, I'm going to pick this up in the next video. So I'll see you then.